Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you. My name is Larry Payne. I'm with WTW Architects, and we were the architect of record on this project. And WTW has been based on the north side for the past 60 years. The Stadium Authority's initial RFP that came out, request for proposals, asked that the design team actually consider doing green design and wanted a goal of the highest green design parking structure that you could get, which is gold. And it was going to be designed around ParkSmart, which was at that time, a program that had just recently started. We had the opportunity to work with many constituent groups during design who provided valuable information. That included Continental Development, Alco Parking, the Green Building Alliance, River Life, North Shore Leadership Conference, as well as the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Macero Corporation was the construction manager on this project, and they helped us also throughout design, construction, and followed through with the information that we had to put together for the actual submission. So now I'd like to introduce, and I have the privilege of doing this, today's speakers. First up will be Paul WESSEL. Paul is the Director of Marketing for the United States Green Building Council and pretty much wrote the book for ParkSmart. He'll be talking about the project and presenting the plaque to Mayor Bill Peduto and Mr. Stanley LEDERMAN. Stan is the chair of the board for the Stadium Authority, who was responsible for putting out the RFP, asking for sustainable construction. And obviously, Mayor Bill Peduto is here, in my mind, a very proponent and champion for sustainable design and construction in the city of Pittsburgh. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Paul WESSEL to come on up.
Thank you. Good morning. As Larry said, I'm Paul WESSEL. I'm the Director of Market Development for the U.S. Green Building Council, and it's a pleasure to be here recognizing Pittsburgh's leadership today. So ParkSmart is a performance, sustainability, and recognition tool for new and existing parking structures. It's part of the LEED family of offerings, and U.S. Green Building Council's LEED program is the gold standard, or the platinum standard around globally. And so we're really excited to be here in Pittsburgh. ParkSmart's goal is really to help public and private real estate owners enable more mobility for more people while actually improving the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the health of the communities in which we live. So parking, as most of you know, is one of the largest land uses in cities. But through smarter siting, design and operation of the built environment, ParkSmart works to reduce that land use and to do so in ways that really embrace our future. So as new technologies and modes of transportation continue to change the way we move, ParkSmart recognizes the unique opportunities of parking garages to accelerate this transition to more sustainable forms of mobility. So, as you know far better than me, Pittsburgh has been a leader for a long time. From Mr. Rogers in our first public television station, to the first Ferris wheel, to the first nighttime World Series game. So, we're especially excited that the Stadium Authority of the City of Pittsburgh continues that leadership trend with the world's first ParkSmart Gold level certification of this aptly named Gold One Garage. Gold One is really helping to lead this transformation we've been talking about. It's showing how parking structures can encourage the use of ride-sharing services, electric vehicles, and public transit, how they can align with green building strategies, and how they can promote ways to conserve and nourish for the natural environment. And as you all know, Gold One is a gateway to some of Pittsburgh's best entertainment. It was designed with the city's sustainability strategies in mind and is expanding to accommodate a more diverse transportation network. From EV charging, electric vehicle charging stations, and protected bike parking, to living walls that capture the rainfall and irrigate the land around it, Gold One shows us that all building structures can find new ways to better serve their communities. I also want to recognize in particular the dedicated work of the Stadium Authority's Simona Lobrant, WTW Architects, and Pittsburgh's Green Building Alliance, whose leadership in recognizing the opportunities in parking structures dates back to 2014 with the work it did on lighting. So as we all work to reduce our carbon emissions, how we plan and develop our new and existing spaces, including parking structures, will influence our ability to transition to a more sustainability network. So it's with great pleasure today that I present Mayor Peduto, the Stadium Authority of the City of Pittsburgh, and WTW Architects with a plaque for achieving the ParkSmart Gold certification for Gold 1 Garage. Your work in reimagining this parking structures has not only earned you the highest level of certification, but distinguishes you as the first garage in the world to achieve this gold level. So thank you for your work, congratulations, and based on our discussions this week with the Pittsburgh Parking Authority, we know this is not going to be the first of many ParkSmart structures here in Pittsburgh. Thank you. We want to do the plaque now? Should we do the...
Sure. Okay.
How do we want to do this? Okay, all right.
How's that? Mayor, ready?
You ready? You guys do it. Right, you're up.
Very good. I'm up. Good morning, everybody. It's very nice to be here today. This really is an important thing because you just heard not the city, not the county, not the state, not the country, but the world, the first one in the world, which just goes to show that Pittsburgh continues under leadership to maintain this sort of profile, moving forward with buildings such as this and projects such as this, which benefit everybody. And I do mean everybody. Because this initiative started way back in 2015, which is obviously 3 years ago, after Walker Parking Consultants had concluded a feasibility analysis of the this new parking facility. Because the Stadium Authority is right now and always will believe that the sustainability of these structures is integral to building a greener future in Pittsburgh and everywhere by shaping transportation networks and infrastructure that support more livable, walkable communities. Because a garage was needed for development to continue here on this beautiful North Shore, as evidenced by the new SAP building that's going up probably catty corner from us on the other side of the highway, which is going to bring 1,000 new workers into this area from an international company that has decided to locate here in Pittsburgh. Hopefully the first of many, many more to come here. The garage was built for patrons of the North Shore to support events and daily commuters, of which, if you tried to park here today, you know I had to go up to the roof to park because this garage is full. Now, this achievement could not have been done without the collaborative effort of many parties, and I would like to recognize some of the people here today of that design and construction team. First, our Stadium Authority project manager, Tom Reiser. I saw him here. There he is back there. The SA sustainability coordinators, both past and present, as was mentioned before, Simona Lobrant, Christina Homan, and Mary Fetchick-Kirk. WTW Architects, the architects who designed this garage, and 3R Sustainability for consulting on the ParkSmart process, as well as other entities on the design team, such as A&A Consultants, who did the structural, Advantis Engineers, the MEP engineer, Gateway Engineers, the traffic and pedestrian study, Geomechanics Incorporated, the geotechnical engineer, Manola Basin Engineers did the surveying work, Walker Parking, the operation design services, and our commissioning agent, O&S Associates. Now, Massaro Corporation and their union subcontractors built this garage. They were Sidley Precast, Clista Electric, WG Tomka, who did the plumbing, DG Mechanical, who did the HVAC, and John Zatola Landscaping. And also a shout out to Alco Parking Corporation, who is our parking garage manager. And last but not least, I would like also to recognize the efforts of our Stadium Authority Board and acknowledge those who were able to be here today. Jim Milanis, Steve Steingart, and Keith Reed. Reverend Brenda Gregg was not able to attend today. And I would be remiss, finally, if I didn't point out some of our staff who are here today. Rif Qureshi, Roseanne Casciato, I don't know if he's here today, Doug Straley, and who never wants to be shouted out, but always has to be, because without her, none of this ever happens, Mary Contoro, our executive director, always standing behind you in the shadows. Thank you for listening to that. And now, without further ado, really the person who, in many ways, is responsible for this continuing development, our Mayor, Bill Peduto.
Thanks. Thanks, Stanley. First off, thank you to you. Thank you for the leadership that you've provided to the Stadium Authority over the past 5 years. Having a standard which raises the bar as we see the continuation of the development on the North Shore, and how this little area, as it's coming to its final projects, is helping to rebuild the connection between the river and the north side. This project's special in many ways. We created the first of its kind LEED certified convention center in the world. And today we sit here again creating the first ParkSmart Gold LEED certified parking garage in the world. But it's more than a parking garage, because the building itself has been designed with its mind towards the future. It's a building that can easily be adapted to be office space, to be housing, to be whatever the Pittsburgh of 20 or 30 years from now should need. And it's designed in a way that minimizes its impact on the earth, that minimizes the amount of storm water that runs off of all of this surface parking and adds to our combined sewer overflow problem. It actually retains that water in a way that helps to minimize the costs of the future of building bigger pipes. It has the ability to charge electric vehicles. And as we look at our parking authority, we're looking at partnering with USGBC to make sure that all of our facilities are reaching their full potential. A report came out today that shows that Pittsburgh utilizes only 1% of its solar capacity, that 99% of our surfaces that could be creating energy from the sun are not being utilized today. And if you think about our parking garages and the roofs of them as the opportunity to power Pittsburgh, there is such a great potential when we partner with groups like the USGBC in order to be able to do this. And finally, I want to thank Mary Contoro, the executive director of both the Stadium Authority and the Sports and Exhibition Authority. These large facilities require investment. They require, through a lease agreement, that the public is part of making sure that these publicly owned facilities are maintained. Because as homeowners, we realize that when we fail to take care of the necessities of a leaking roof or some other problem, it doesn't simply go away. It compounds itself into becoming a very unaffordable project. And as the taker of the maintenance of 4 separate massive facilities, the Sports and Exhibition Authority has been able to do so prudently and in partnership with the folks who are using those facilities, our sports teams and those that use our convention center, in a way that has been fiscally responsible. And I want to thank her for that leadership. My honor to turn it back over to you, Mr. Chair, if there's any final comments. And again, thank you to everyone involved. First in the world, designed, created, engineered, built by Pittsburghers.
And on that note, Mayor, what else can be said to say you're first and best in the world at something? And in Pittsburgh, that's becoming more and more common, isn't it? So with that, I thank everyone for coming today. This is the sort of thing we would hope to have every year or two as we move forward. And hopefully it gets boring, because that means we're doing our job. So thank everyone for coming. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, man.